Before Zeus, before Odin, before the gods, there were others. Gods of chaos, gods of death, gods so terrifying that even other deities feared them. Entities that existed before creation itself, before light, before order. They didn't demand worship. They demanded sacrifice, blood, fear. Some were mothers of monsters, others devoured children. One ruled a realm where half her body was alive and half was rotting corpse. These aren't the gods in your textbooks. They're the ones history tried to forget. The ones ancient civilizations feared to even name. The dark gods who ruled when the world was young, violent, and merciless. Today, you're going to meet 6 of them. Beings that predate civilization. Gods that other gods went to war against. And entities that, in some places, are still worshipped today. Because these gods never truly died. They just wait. Welcome back to the Shadow Archives. Every culture has myths, stories of heroes, creation, and divine justice. But beneath those stories lies something older, darker. Gods that don't fit the narrative. Entities that represent chaos, death, and destruction. The 6 beings you're about to meet come from different corners of the ancient world. Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Celtic lands, the frozen north, and one that's still invoked in rituals today. These aren't abstract concepts. To the people who believed in them, they were real altars were built, sacrifices made, wars fought in their names. This is just the beginning. Each deity has a mythology vast enough to fill hours. But first, you need to know they existed and why they were feared. Subscribe if you're ready to descend into the mythology others forgot, because we're about to meet the gods that ruled before light. Deity number 1, Tiamat, Mesopotamia. We begin at the beginning, before gods, before humans, before the world itself. Tiamat, the mother of monsters, the embodiment of primordial chaos. In Babylonian mythology, Tiamat was the saltwater ocean. Not a goddess of the ocean, she was the ocean. The universe began when she and Apsu, the freshwater, mingled and created the first gods. But those gods were loud, chaotic, disrespectful, and Apsu wanted to destroy them. The younger gods killed Apsu first, and Tiamat went to war. She wasn't a gentle mother seeking revenge. She was a force of annihilation. She transformed into a massive dragon-serpent hybrid, gave birth to 11 monstrous creatures, scorpion men, storm demons, serpent dragons, and declared war on the entire pantheon. Her army was unstoppable. The gods cowered. No one dared face her. Until Marduk, the young storm god, volunteered. But he demanded a price. If he defeated Tiamat, he would become king of the gods. The battle was cataclysmic. Marduk used winds to inflate Tiamat's body, then shot an arrow down her throat, splitting her in 2. From her corpse, he created the heavens and the earth. Her tears became the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Her body became the world. But here's what's disturbing. Tiamat wasn't evil. She was chaos raw, creative, destructive chaos. The universe was built from her corpse, meaning creation itself is built on violence. Ancient Mesopotamians didn't worship Tiamat. They feared her, because chaos can't be controlled, only temporarily contained. And in some esoteric traditions, magicians still invoke Tiamat when they want to break down order, to unmake, to return to the primordial state. Tiamat's monsters and her war with the gods will be explored in depth. But now, we travel west, to the battlefields of the Celts. Deity number 2, the Morrigan, Celtic. The Celts had a goddess who didn't just watch war, she fed on it. The Morrigan, the Phantom Queen, the goddess of war, death, and fate. But she wasn't one goddess, she was three. A triple deity who could shift between forms, ages, and aspects. Sometimes young and seductive, sometimes old and prophetic, and sometimes a carrion crow feasting on the dead. The Morrigan appeared on battlefields before, during, and after combat. Warriors who saw a crow circling overhead knew she had chosen the dead, and her choice was final. But she didn't just predict death, she caused it. In the epic tale of Cú Chulainn, Ireland's greatest hero, the Morrigan approached him in the form of a beautiful woman and offered herself to him. He rejected her. Big mistake. She cursed him. During his next battle, she appeared as an eel and tripped him. Then as a wolf and stampeded cattle toward him. Then as a cow and led an army against him. Cú Chulainn survived, but he was wounded. Later, when he was dying, the Morrigan landed on his shoulder as a crow. Only then did his enemies dare approach. Because if the Morrigan had chosen you, you were already dead. But she wasn't purely malevolent. She also protected Ireland itself. Before invasions, she would appear to kings in prophetic visions, warning them. And on Samhain, Halloween, she was said to mate with the Dagda, the father god, to ensure the land's fertility. Sex, death, war, prophecy, all intertwined. Modern witches and pagans still invoke the Morrigan, not for love or prosperity, but for power, for courage in battle, whether physical or metaphorical, for the strength to face death without fear. Because the Morrigan doesn't comfort, she empowers. The Morrigan's myths and her connection to modern witchcraft deserve full investigation. But next, a creature even gods feared. Deity number 3, Lamashtu, Sumeria. In ancient Sumer and Babylon, there was a demon so feared that pregnant women wore amulets every day until their child turned 1 year old. Her name, Lamashtu. She wasn't a goddess, she was a demon, but not just any demon. She was the daughter of Anu, the sky god, divine blood, but cast out for her crimes. What crimes? Lamashtu's sole purpose was to harm children. She would sneak into homes at night, approach cradles, and either kill infants outright or steal them, drag them into the wilderness, and devour them. Pregnant women were her favorite targets. She caused miscarriages, stillbirths, and complications during labor. And if the child survived birth, Lamashtu would infect them with disease or fever. But her appearance was the stuff of nightmares. The head of a lion, the teeth of a donkey, naked, hairy body, bird talons for feet. And in most depictions, she's shown nursing a pig and a dog at her breasts while holding serpents. Why pigs and dogs? Because they represent impurity. Lamashtu wasn't motherly. She was a perversion of motherhood. Ancient Sumerians took her seriously. Thousands of protective amulets have been found, prayers inscribed on tablets, rituals to banish her. One common method, invoke Pazuzu, yes, the demon from The Exorcist, because even Pazuzu, the king of demons, hated Lamashtu and would drive her away. Think about that. A demon so vile that you needed another demon to protect you from her. Scholars believe Lamashtu was how ancient cultures explained infant mortality, which was tragically common. But to the people who believed, she was real, and she was hunting. Some occultists claim Lamashtu still exists in the astral plane, that she's invoked in the darkest curses, those meant to harm children or destroy families. Lamashtu's rituals and the amulets against her will be decoded. But now, we leave ancient Mesopotamia for something modern and still practiced. Deity number 4, Baron Samedi, Haitian Vodou. Meet the only god on this list who's still actively worshipped today, Baron Samedi, the Loa of Death, guardian of the cemetery, and the life of the afterlife party. In Haitian Vodou, Baron Samedi isn't a myth. He's a presence. He's invoked in rituals. Offerings are left at his altar, and during possession ceremonies, he speaks through devotees. But he's not what you'd expect from a god of death. Baron Samedi appears as a tall, thin man dressed in a black top hat, tuxedo, and dark sunglasses. He smokes cigars, drinks rum infused with hot peppers, tells obscene jokes, flirts outrageously, and dances. He's death, but he's also irreverent, crude, playful. Because in Vodou, death isn't the end, it's a transition. And Baron Samedi is the gatekeeper. He controls who enters the realm of the dead. And if you want to bring someone back, resurrection, in a sense, you must negotiate with him. He's been known to grant favors for a price, usually rum, cigars, and a good joke. But don't mistake his humor for weakness. Baron Samedi is one of the most powerful Loa. Cross him, disrespect the dead, or disturb a cemetery, and he will curse you. Illness, madness, death. He's also a healer. Paradoxically, the god of death can cure diseases that doctors can't, because he knows the boundary between life and death better than anyone. During Vodou ceremonies, when Baron Samedi possesses a devotee, the person takes on his mannerisms. They drink heavily without getting drunk, speak in a nasal tone, make sexual jokes, and dance provocatively. It's unsettling, because you're watching someone become something else. Baron Samedi isn't forgotten. He's alive, in Haiti, in New Orleans, anywhere Vodou is practiced. And every November 2nd, the Day of the Dead, offerings are left at cemeteries, rum poured on graves, cigars lit and placed on tombs. Because Baron Samedi is always watching, always waiting, at the crossroads between this world and the next. Baron Samedi and Haitian Vodou will be explored deeply. But now, back to antiquity, to a serpent that threatens existence itself. Deity number 5, Apophis, Egypt. In ancient Egypt, every night was a battle for the survival of the universe. The enemy, Apophis, the serpent of chaos, the embodiment of uncreation. Apophis wasn't a god, he was the anti-god, the force that existed before creation and sought to return everything to primordial nothingness. Egyptian cosmology taught that every night, the sun god Ra traveled through the underworld in his solar bark, and every night, Apophis attacked. Apophis was impossibly massive. Some texts describe him as miles long, coiled in the darkness, waiting. His goal? Devour Ra, extinguish the sun, plunge the universe into eternal chaos. The other gods, Set, Isis, Thoth, fought alongside Ra to defeat Apophis each night. Sometimes they succeeded by cutting him into pieces, other times by binding him with chains or blinding him with light. But Apophis could never be killed, because chaos can't be destroyed, only pushed back. Every dawn was a temporary victory. Every sunset, the battle began again. Egyptian priests performed daily rituals to help Ra fight Apophis, reciting spells from the Book of Overthrowing Apophis, drawing images of the serpent and burning them, spitting on representations of him, stabbing wax figures. These weren't symbolic. Egyptians believed that without these rituals, Apophis would win. The sun wouldn't rise, and reality would collapse. Here's the terrifying part. Apophis had no temples, no priests, no worshippers. Because no one wanted him to exist, he was pure enmity. And yet, in some esoteric traditions, chaos magicians invoke Apophis when they want to unmake something, destroy barriers, dissolve reality itself. Because if Apophis represents anything, it's this: nothing is permanent, order is fragile, and chaos is always waiting in the dark. The nightly battle and the rituals against Apophis will be detailed. But for our final deity, we go north, to a goddess so disturbing, even Odin feared her. Deity number 6, Hel, Norse mythology. The Norse had a goddess of death unlike any other. Hel, daughter of Loki, sister to the wolf Fenrir and the serpent Jormungandr, and ruler of Helheim. the realm of the dishonored dead. But hell herself was divided. Half her body was that of a beautiful living woman. The other half, corpse, rotting, decayed, blue-black flesh hanging from bones, one eye bright and clear, the other sunken and dead. She was life and death in one being, and the sight of her was so disturbing that even the gods avoided her. Odin, the All-Father, knew Hel and her siblings would bring doom, so he cast them out. Fenrir was chained, Jormungandr was thrown into the ocean, and Hel, she was sent to the underworld and given dominion over all who died of sickness or old age, not warriors, not heroes. Those went to Valhalla. Hel received everyone else, the forgotten, the diseased, the unlucky. And once you entered Helheim, you didn't leave. The realm was cold, dark, a joyless place where the dead wandered as shadows. Hel ruled from a throne, silent and impassive, her half-dead face watching over the souls under her care. But Hel wasn't cruel. She wasn't evil. She simply was, neutral, inevitable, like death itself. The most famous story involving Hel is the death of Baldur, the most beloved god. When Baldur died, his mother Frigg begged Hel to release him. Hel agreed, on one condition: if every being in the universe wept for Baldur, she'd let him go. Every creature wept, except one, a giantess named Thok, who was actually Loki in disguise. One refusal, and Baldur remained in Helheim forever. Hel didn't care. Rules were rules. Modern Norse pagans view Hel not as a villain, but as a necessary force. Death comes for everyone, and Hel is simply there, waiting, half alive, half dead, eternal. Hel's realm and her role in Ragnarok will be explored. But now, you know the gods before light. 6 gods, 6 forces of chaos, death, and destruction. They aren't the gods of hope, justice, or love. They're the gods that explain why the world is violent, unpredictable, and finite. They're the shadows behind creation, and they were forgotten for a reason. Not because they were lies, but because they were too real, too primal, too honest about the nature of existence. But forgetting something doesn't make it disappear. Tiamat's chaos is still in every storm. The Morrigan still circles battlefields. Lamashtu still haunts the fear of every parent. Baron Samedi still guards the dead. Apophis still coils in the dark, and Hel still waits at the end of every life. These gods don't need belief. They exist in the structure of reality itself. We've only touched the surface. Each deity has myths, rituals, and modern practices tied to them. In future episodes, we'll explore their stories in full, the wars they fought, the rituals used to invoke or banish them, and why, even now, some are still called upon. In the next episode of the Shadow Archives, we're investigating secret societies, the groups that claim to hold power over nations and shape history from the shadows. If you're ready to explore the mythology others forgot, subscribe and hit the bell. Drop a comment. Which deity fascinated you most? Or which mythology should we explore next? The archives are open, the old gods are patient, and darkness was here first. I'll see you in the next one.